have kids, don't follow your dreams, that's bullshit. I'm like, holy crap. I mean, you have got to have nerves of steel, and I don't even, I mean, maybe I have.
Let me know whenever you're ready to use this, and I'll be just here and everything. You have to also have in mind.
I just didn't know if you wanted me to wait a little longer to see if my people, or if I can go ahead and start. It's up to you. Okay. Well, then I can go ahead and pull up.
I do.
Then you know what, I will just pull up a commercial.
Yeah.
To show in the meantime. All right.
All right.
Hold my thought. Oh, good, just 15 seconds. Okay. The shorter the better.
And then you want to click it to your voice or
This one? Oh, yeah, of course.
And then it has like a little on button on.
Oh, this is like a real knob working for my set.
I know.
Okay,
Especially for the live stream, because this room is not gigantic, but it's, yeah.
Okay, I'll put this on here.
Turn it over.
Okay, you turn it on? Okay, let me know if that's cool and that works.
Beautiful. Ray, can you hear?
It's fine. All the things that happen on your wooden
Alright, let me
surfaces.
give Ray the.
Okay, cool. You know what? Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead. Let's live stream. We can live stream this.
Beautiful.
Yeah, we can put that up there. I'm not going to talk about it right now, but.
Connect you so I can actually live stream it.
Okay, cool. Just connect me, and then I'm not going to talk. I won't do it right this second. Okay. So I'm not going to come sit there, but you can do it like that and plug it in. Oh. Okay. And I might have to stand up and. That's pretty cool. Okay, see if that works. And then what do I do when I'm ready to play it? I just hit on here?
Yes.
Okay.
And you will be able to see it.
Have you guys done this in advertising yet? No, just playing commercials and breaking them down? That's everything you do. And scratch tracks and the beats and, yeah.
Cool. Let me know when that.
And will that make it, if I try to go to full screen, will it let it or no?
Yeah. If you click on
Once I click on it?
Yeah, whatever you see here is what the projector will see.
Well, it just.
Yes.
Well, then how many more people do you think are coming?
We had up to 20 on the RSVP.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
So we'll see. If more people just walk in, and if not, we'll see.
Yeah, I'll just keep talking because I don't want to make these guys wait. They all showed up.
I know. They're all on time because they're awesome.
right,
And some
well,
faces I don't know. Hi, everybody. Welcome, which is very exciting. My name is Azalea Laredo. I am the program manager for Texas Immersive. And if you are in the program, you know all about it. But if you don't, just a little run through of what we do at TXI is that we help students become experienced designers. So designing for an audience or community that has a problem and incorporating storytelling and emerging technology to create very, very interesting experiences. My background is in the creative world in music, so I love this type of workshop where really is the creative side, more of the tech, which both are important. So I'm very excited to introduce you to Terri Apple, who is joining us today. She's amazing. I know, clap, 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 clap.
Oh, bring it on. No, I'm kidding.
Fantastic. So I'll let you take it away. I'll be here in case you need any help.
Good.
And if anybody has questions, I can run with the mic so the live stream can actually catch the sound. So welcome, Terri. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, guys. So I was in the middle of something, but I don't remember. If anybody remembers, or I'll just start fresh. I started doing voiceovers when I was 16 based on just seeing ads in magazines and on TV. I didn't really know those were voice actors, and I didn't really know that was something that someone does. I know what I was talking about, the different elements of being in advertising. So I'm gonna just now switch that to the element of the world of entertainment or the world of voice acting. Because within voice acting, there are so many different genres that you can do, right? You can say, I wanna do voiceovers. I always even say, even if you have a cool voice or someone has stopped you and said, hey, you got a great voice, you'd be great for a commercial or for an animated series playing a character or any sort of AI that you can license your voice out, which you didn't hear that from me because that's a weird world. But there is so much business within the voiceover world. You don't necessarily have to get intimidated and say, well, I'm not an actor. It doesn't really matter if you're an actor. I've come across in my career a lot of voiceover actors that have never done on camera in their life. For me, it happened to be a stepping stone, and a lot of times I feel like I took it for granted because I was lucky enough to become the top chick in the business. I guess I can say that now because I'm still one of the top, but at the time I became this thing that changed the industry for everyone, and they called me the queen of voiceovers or whatever it was. But for me, it was a stepping stone with my acting on the way to being where I thought I wanted to be in my head, in my career on camera. And voiceovers was just a way to it wasn't a way to get there, I just started booking jobs. But I did voiceovers starting at 16 from Kansas City. I went to KU, did a few movies at KU that came into Kansas City, moved out to LA, and brought my voiceover demos, and the only reason I started doing them is an ex-boyfriend said to me, you ought to pursue those voiceovers, and back then I said, it's too tough to make it. And I had done a lot of work, but I know what I was also saying is don't pursue your dreams, like just go get married and have kids and like forget it. Well, the truth is, do follow your dreams, obviously, but it's not an easy road, and a lot of times, deciding what you want to do, I do believe, is half the battle, but I would be open-minded enough to enjoy the fruits of your labor to allow other things to come in that might be a better fit than even what you thought would be a good fit for your life. So definitely follow a path, be confident. I do believe talent and timing are equally as important, sometimes timing more than talent. I don't even know. My cousin was saying to me, who does audiobooks and makes about $400,000 a year in audiobooks. She was never going to do audiobooks 15 years ago. She's got a baby. She lives in New York City. She went there to do theater and, and she sings, and she wanted to do Broadway. She got married, had a baby. I got her into voiceovers, but she was a big theater actress. And at the end of the day, forget it. I don't want to do audiobooks. I would get so bored. Hi, come on in. So audiobooks are where you sit down. You can actually chase these jobs on your own. And I'm going to go back and talk about the different genres in voiceover world. But audiobooks, everybody knows what they are, right? You know that you can chase these on your own. You can go on something called Audibles or ACX. You can sign up for an account for free. You can audition for particular jobs. Now they call it per finished hour, PFH. You can say, I don't want to work for under $100 per finished hour, but let me tell you what breaks down in the audiobook world. You're doing the voice of everything. And there are abridged and unabridged versions of books. The celebrities generally get the abridged versions, which just mean a little shorter. My cousin loves doing them. She spends her entire career is sitting in a booth she built in New York City with her husband, well, her husband, so whoever built it. And she will work 8-hour days doing audiobooks. She has a deal with Random House. She sends about 30 a month. I can't even get through my own. I have books, I'll tell you about my books later, but they didn't make it with me. But I will tell you that I've tried to do my own voiceover for my audio for my voiceover books, and I have 5 books out. I'm like, I can't even get past like the first 3 pages. I'm like, how far in am I? And I like to talk, but it's a lot of work. So if you enjoy talking, if you enjoy the fact that it's a lot of self-work, it is doable, but you've got to enjoy. In 1972, Pam Smith walked down to the market and ran into Don, and Don said, hey Pam, how you doing? And Pam said, I'm good, Don, how are you? So you change the voice that way, but you've got to know you're narrating your own thing, you're creating the beats. You don't pull the breaths out, but you have to do your own post-production work on these. In general, in voiceovers, guys, no matter if you get an agent, have a marriage with an ad agency, casting directors, what we do now are we send auditions in. So even if you get big time, very few of you will actually go into an agency. You can certainly pursue getting a voiceover agent in Austin, Texas. They exist. They're around here. Dallas, Fort Worth. We call these the breadbasket states. There's 13 states that are kind of southern Midwest, and that's a region of voiceover work. And you guys are all not Midwesterners, but there's a regionality if you're from Austin. If you're not, it's something different. But there's a regionality, and there is a way to chase and go after these jobs. In voiceovers, the most important thing is to understand how to read scripts. And let me break the genres down. I just talked to you about audiobooks and how to pursue things, and we'll have a Q&A after, so you guys can feel free to go, I want to ask you about this, blah, blah, blah. In voiceovers, just talking about the voice alone now, so I'm not talking about on camera, okay? I'm not talking about any other field except for strictly voiceovers, but voiceovers is a world within acting, dancing, blah, blah. So commercials are television and radio spots up to 60 seconds. Anything over 60 seconds that you see is it an industrial or an infomercial? Anything you ever see on TV, now you might see it on the internet, but that would be like an in-house video or something else. Every single commercial you have watched growing up. I was going to say that because advertising has got to just mess with our brain. There's just no way it couldn't. I'm thinking we've all probably been hypnotized into buying products and doing everything. I mean, you'll notice that the markets and the way that you go on, it used to be more gender specific, but because of everything that's going on, that they try not to do that. Because it used to be all what we call the Procter & Gamble commercials during the day, P&G, mom commercials. Well, now you're disparaging men that stay home, or other genders and other things. So they really mix it up a little bit more. But what you'll see are mostly the housewares things during the day. That's why you see at night, starting at like 6 o'clock in the old days, it's the cars, it's the alcohol, it's the men's type of thing, because the men worked during the day and then they came home at night. So in the advertising world, that's how things were set up. 60-second spots don't really exist anymore. If you want to be able to test when you're watching a commercial, if you're doing it online or you're getting ready to watch, hit stop, hit your record button, or hit your timer, and you can see how long the commercial lasted. Most 90% and above of ad buys, meaning what we're seeing on the air and on the radio, are 30 seconds or 15 seconds. We're going to play a 15-second now. And then they buy that ad time based on the market for that product, okay? Our voice doesn't come into play until they've actually written the script, had an idea of what they're looking for, and then every single one of us that read for a voiceover job, I'm one of maybe 30 to 200 people reading on any given script. So you're handed a script. Now back in the day, I used to go into a studio or an office, and I used to sit in a lobby, and my agent would give me 3 scripts, maybe 1 TV, 1 radio, and 1 animation. I sat and I did what's called a breakdown, and I'm going to teach you guys breakdown of scripts and cold reading and all of that. But they would hand you a script. We'll do it with an actual script. Hand you a script. You had to look at it then, work on it, prepare, and then go into a booth with a sound booth director who would then say, slate your name, Terri Apple, or slate your name with character, Terri Apple is mom. And then you go in and you read. You have to be prepared. Yeah, hi, hello, come on in. You have to be prepared, and you got to know what you're doing when you read. So I'm going to teach you guys to read. I always say the voice is the icing on the cake, because although the voice is important, whether you are an on-camera actor or not, your ability to understand the beats, the mood, how to understand the specs of what they're looking for in a script are everything. I say the only thing that matters as a voice actor is nailing those specs. And the specs mean the specifications of what they're looking for, the point of view, the mood, the adjectives. They don't say happy, they don't say sad. They give you sweet, hip, cool, off the cuff, easygoing, sophisticated, nonchalant. Sometimes it's 20 adjectives, sometimes it's 3, or they say George Clooney-like. Or they give you either a celebrity or a bunch of adjectives. I didn't make this world up like this, so that's that. Television and radio fit into the genre of commercial voiceovers, okay? If you want to pursue commercial voiceovers, you have a commercial voiceover demo that has to be done at some point in your career. That demo is consistent of a mix between real radio and TV commercials. So like I produce them, but you can get someone to produce them. You don't want to do them on your own. You get one shot to get in with the agents, casting directors, whatever. The last thing you want to do is make up your own scripts and not be objectively listening to yourself. Today we have to do what's called self-direction. So when you get an audition, you're sending it in from home. I still have a $60 microphone that I send things in on. I've sent things on from my iPhone before. The quality of the microphone is important, but it's not everything. What is important is nailing your read and then being able to duplicate that when you book the job and recreating that in the session, not just one time, but possibly 20 times. So you can't get bored, angry. What the heck, man? I think that sounded good. Why? Why do they want to do it again? They're using you as a tool to get the sell they're looking for, even if you've already nailed the read to get you in the door, okay? But in the commercial world, it's television or radio. Then we've got animation. Animation, completely different bird. So animation is video games. Animation is dubbing. It can fit into dubbing. It can fit into any sort of AI. It can fit into animated TV series, films, anything that you can see that's animated. And not everything is a character. Not everything is a character. Not every. You'll see a lot of times in animation Sometimes I do seminars for 6 hours, so I'm giving you guys cliff notes of everything because it's like you could just go and you could give so much stuff. In animation, it's either realistic animation, and you've heard the differences. You've heard like King of the Hill, there's sometimes regular characters, right? And then, I don't know what the one with Stewie and the dog. Stewie's like a character, but the dog's normal, right? So, I mean, you have animation where it's characters or you get real. Besides animation, there's audiobooks, which I told you. There's trailers. Trailers are a different, in 1963, it's what we see in the movies. Would I say it's mostly men? Yeah, but Melissa Disney does a ton of, she's not from the Disney family, just like I'm not from the Apple family. But she does a ton of trailers. There's promos, that's another separate world. Tonight at 9 on Fox. Next on Law and Order. Tonight on Bridezilla. So it's the voice that is introducing you to an upcoming show or doing an entire lineup. Next on Bravo, those are promos. There's different worlds of promos. There's promos for network. We used to only have 3 networks, CBS, NBC, ABC. We now have CNN. We now have tons of different networks. If you guys want to chase promo work, there is what we call TV and radio affiliate and imaging. You can get your own demos done. There is a book about this thick that you can chase and you can go after because it's all non-union work, and I'll talk about the union in a minute. But you can chase that work as well if you think you like to do promos. No matter what genre you would like to do, you're going to take home these scripts, one at least for everyone, and we might have extra. When I was a teenager, I went on and I looked at a magazine and I would see the words. Now you have the ability, we are going to do this, I call it the reverse audition, but you're going to look at an actual spot. You can look at any spot you want, and there's copying the voice, but more importantly is there's writing down what they were looking for this spot, and then trying to recreate a sound and a mood. Anything I do right here, you already have the read. Taster's choice, the taste of choice, is the exact same thing that went on the air. Your house is so hot, not even your best friend will stay for a visit. So you run down to home base. It's just because I remember, because I did all these. But I could do every single one of them. They were all created before I got onto a microphone. I think people make the mistake of thinking the microphone is going to sell what they're doing. The work is done, whether you're an on-camera actor or not. The work is done in your playtime based on what they're looking for, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I hit all the genres. I'm gonna go ahead and pass out some of these. We'll do that after. I wanna take you guys through an exercise called That's a Great Shirt to help you find your moods. What I wanna do, here's what I think I'll do. Everybody come up here, because there's not that many. Everybody pick one script. I'm gonna let you choose from one or the other. Don't worry if it says male or female, we can change it. This is a TV that the lines are on there and they're super small. But maybe in fact choose from one of these. Don't take all three. Okay. Pick one, because I don't know if I'm gonna have a lot extra. But you can take, everyone can take one of those. That's just to show you. You guys make a choice between this one or this one, okay? And then I'll hand out these to everyone. Thank you. Yeah. Make a choice between both. Don't worry about the genre. And then this one I think is, it's gonna be too tight to see, but pick out one of these other ones. Did you get that? You take one of those. I just wanna show you. Oh, you already got that. Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. Pick one or the other. You can, it doesn't matter. Did everyone get the scratch? Okay, and yeah, pick one of those. We might have enough to get everybody too. Oh yeah, for sure. But just pick one for now. So I want to take you guys through a mood exercise to show you how you hit the mood on something, okay? Did everyone get all the different genres of everything? Then when I know I kind of skipped over it, but over 60 seconds, you call that in-house videos, you're right, or I mean with corporations. Why is acting important in voiceovers? What I think is more important than acting is an ability to both marry the creativity and the technical together. And we're not all the same. Many of us think more technically than they do creative. Sometimes people call me like the voiceover shrink because I figure, I go, well, you're like that in life too. And they're like, oh crap, I really am. Like, you can pick up the things. What's very important in voiceovers is finding a mood, sticking to it, understanding it, being able to create it, do it out loud, and then being able to marry and do that the same thing on a microphone without being on the microphone first in order to do it. Do you want to play? Do you want to take a script? Okay. And I just want to, let's show everybody really quickly first. I really thought we'd be able to read from this. Well, you guys are young, but you know, this came out too small. This is just a storyboard. So I just wanted to show you guys so you understand, okay? And the reason I'm giving you real scripts is so that you can actually see. You're not writing them yourself, you're seeing produced copy, okay? So everybody just understand, those are done in graphs. I'm gonna grab one of each one of these so I can show you. In fact, we definitely have enough. Tell me who didn't get AT&T. You got AT&T?
No, I didn't get that.
Okay, AT&T. Who didn't get AT&T? Great. AT&T. Will you hand him behind you and then I'll give you another? Thank you. AT&T, AT&T, AT&T. Yeah, we have enough. I'm cool. AT&T if you want it. Is that everybody that got did you get AT&T? Okay. Who didn't get, oh my God, the top's cut off on this. A bachelorette. 30-second bachelorette. Thanks. Will you thank you so much. Everybody else got it? Really? Wow, you guys. Okay, cool. All right, you know what let's do first? Then let's do, well, which one do we want to, I'm going to not everybody's going to read the same one, so I'm going to let you guys pick it how you want to pick it, but I want to take you through what's called a 4-step cold reading. So I want you to grab a piece of paper because I'm going to be explaining 2 things at the same time, okay? And it's really cool and really fun. You'll be like, I have hooked so many people up with breaking into this business. I did not make up the 4-step cold reading, although pretty much everyone thinks I did. I think it's pretty much just a very non-neurotic way to be able to trick your brain to look at a script and understand what to do, okay? Before I start any of that, I want to ask random, I'm going to ask you randomly, when you look at a script, is this the first time you're seeing a script, by the way?
No.
Fabulous. Have you read for voiceovers before?
I have not.
Have you ever seen an advertising script like this?
I think I have.
Yeah.
It was just like for a class assignment.
Okay, cool. Which one did you like that you were going to be working on?
Let's do the AT&T one.
Okay, terrific. So we're not going to do anything. I'm not going to have you read right now. What I want to just ask you are a couple of questions. Our brain works differently. What's the first thing, if I said to you, random, you know what, you have a great voice. I was talking to Meta at a coffee shop. I said, I'm actually casting this thing. I think you'd be great for this. No, I don't care if you have any experience, not experienced or not. I'm just going to stick you on it and have you read it. Is there anything you're doing, because you've all looked at this script, and everybody, I guarantee you, maybe some people are the same, some people are different. Tell me what you would probably do first when you're looking at it to get ready to record something.
Usually I would find the beats.
So technical, that's the technical aspect, got it? Isn't that interesting? That's technically. So first you would find the beats, then what would you do? You're a very methodical person.
Oh, then I would in my head find the mood and find what kind of voice I would read it in.
Now, when you say find the voice, would you be finding the voice in your throat, or would you be hypothetically, or does that become a real thing?
For this one specifically?
Well, no, yeah, because you said it. It can be for
Okay.
this one, but yeah, I'm going to guide you through the steps, but yeah.
Yeah, I would probably do a real thing.
When you're trying to find a mood, as you said, do you base that on anything that you're seeing here, or would you just create it in your own world?
I think what I'm seeing in the audience that I'm speaking to.
Okay. Good. Now, just remember, there's no right or wrong, but I'm going to get you on the right road. Would anybody else like to answer what they see? How about you? Like, which one were you looking at? And you could have been looking at both. It really doesn't matter. It can be the same one. I'm just kind of getting where our brains are at.
The creative specs.
Okay, terrific. So tell me, have you ever seen a script before, number one?
Only a couple times. But
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you were asked to read for the voiceover for this, okay, tell me what the first instinct you have when you look at the script. What's the first thing your brain does when you're preparing?
Just try to drink some water. Just try to
Okay.
Just do my own research on this because I may feel a little hesitant at first, I would say.
So your nerves get the better of you. So what kind of research would you do if you just have the script in front of you and you knew without any instruction that you got to go record this, right? Or lay it down. So you deal with a lot of emotional anxiety prior to things, okay? So, it's very interesting the way life is. So that, that's going to come into your read. What calms you down? Not that, listen, you might play a freaked out character, so that will actually benefit you. In life, what calms you down? Because you're probably like that in a lot of situations, because we are how we are, which is so interesting because that's not a vocal quality, but what that does is that internally creates an emotional state of mind for you, which then vocally will make it come out that way. Does that make sense? So is there something that you do that calms you, or that, athletes do a certain thing before they get in there, and it could be bravado, it could be, but is there, because what will you do prior to the moment so that you can get out of your own way?
I was trying to take deep breaths and try to focus on my senses, in a particular type of setting that I'm in,
So
and try to listen to
you
music.
get nervous. You get nervous.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Does anybody else want to answer? Yeah, go ahead.
I would probably just start reading and hear what it sounds like.
You would. You would just start reading. So do you mean the whole thing, or just from where the words are or stuff?
Just the highlighted section.
Yeah. Or which one are you looking at?
Oh, I was looking at AT&T, but I looked at both of them.
Got it. So you would just go straight to seeing that. Then what? Oh, sorry. I know I'm asking these. We're so free form. We're free form. Okay, terrific. So when you, what do you think your next step would be after just reading it?
I'd probably want to see how long it takes, because I'm guessing there's a time segment they need to fill. So if
Okay.
I can read it out loud within 30 seconds, do I need to speed it up? Do I need to say it slower? And then maybe listen to myself, see how it sounds.
How would you listen for yourself to see how it sounds?
I could record myself on my
So
phone.
you would go ahead and record prior and listen back. Now, do you think you'd have the capability? Are you basing it on how you sound is based on what? Anything having to do with what they're looking for?
Probably. I mean, I would think so.
Are you fitting mood in anywhere or vocal quality anywhere?
I would try to.
Yeah, so it's so interesting to hear. We'll do one more, and then we'll go into the steps. Good, thank you, terrific. I know you raised your hand, so I want to, yeah.
I was just gonna say that I always think of a character I like acting, so, and the way I act is to just think of this character and I'm that character, I guess, and then I find myself.
So when you say you're a character, because I like character acting, so I get it when you say this, but are you going to be too big, too much?
Maybe.
Are you trying to find a voice that you think Sean Penn when you say this? Do you Gary Oldman? I mean, do you get what I'm saying?
Oh, definitely.
So
yeah.
So it's an interesting, because
But it can be a boring character.
Huh?
But it can be a boring character too. Sorry.
All right, so let's see how you do things. Is there any place you integrate what they're asking you to be here? Did anybody look at what they're asking you to be
Well, when I read it,
Okay.
yeah.
when you read it?
But yeah.
Okay, all right, well, that's very good. There's things to everything that will work and not work. Okay, write down, It can be on the back of one of these scripts, but not the one you're going to work from, or you could put it on the back of this, or if you have your own piece of paper, okay? This is called cold reading. For the rest of your life, you may thank me. And if not, then it's not a waste of your time anyway. I'm going to make your life a heck of a lot easier right now because I've got a lot. Oh, I'll take a pen too. Get a lot of people working this way. And here's why. Back in the day when I started voiceovers and when I did this, I feel like I'm like a grandma or a I'm not that old. Although I was taking an Uber to the film festival and the woman has like 4 grandkids and we were talking in the car and I go, man, you're probably younger than me. And she's like, well, my grandkids, and she's 59 and I'm 60. I go, oh my God, I can't take this. I go, this is hysterical. I've like done a career, and she's popping out kids, and she had her daughter when she was like 18. But life's just funny with the different things. Okay, so here's what I was saying. Back in the day, we sat and we had to be ready to read a script in a cold reading way. It's called a cold reading. That doesn't mean you're not looking at something, but that doesn't mean you don't print it out from your computer and you don't actually look at it and spend the time and then lay down your record, and then make your changes and then go back. You don't spend 5 days on a script. You don't spend, maybe in acting on camera, maybe if it's different. These reads are meant to be looked at and do within 5 minutes. And if you're spending longer than 5-10 minutes on something, your brain's twisting you up, okay? So that's why the cold reading is something very beneficial. I'm not telling you how to read. I'm not taking your creativity away. I'm enhancing everything. And if you follow these steps in life, it will be a lot easier because it corresponds with how life is. And I've never actually asked in the way that I just asked you guys, especially in the beginning. But it's fascinating to me psychologically because we all come from different perspectives and we all come from different mindsets and we all come from different emotional ways. And it's all based on our childhood, how we're raised, how we see life, how we interact with people, if we're naturally empathetic, if we're naturally cold-hearted, if we're naturally narcissistic. It's life and it's weird. So the vocal quality of a voice, when I go into something in the old days, there's a lot of people that sounded like me, and we all got reads that said hip, fun, off the cuff, easy going. Not every read is the same. As you heard, Taster's Choice was warm, sophisticated. California Avocados, they're as good as you've heard. Playful, upbeat, off the cuff. The all-new BMW 5 Series, real straightforward business mom. Everything was by specs. It did bring out a different vocal quality, but when you said finding the voice is to be found off of the adjectives, okay? So we all have different ways to do something. Step number 1, write cold reading at the top. Underneath cold reading, put a number 1. And also what is going to be interesting for you guys is to see how closely, I know I didn't ask everyone, but see how closely you were already doing this way, okay? Step 1 is read the script. When I say read the script, I mean simply read it. So let's look at AT&T. If this is my brain, I'm not doing anything out loud. AT&T 30 second. How long's the spot, timing-wise? 30 seconds. You don't have to time it out. It's 30 seconds. I'm going to give you a note I always say. The closer you are in mood, the closer you're going to be to time. Don't time something out prior to nailing the mood, because you're then going to try to work on the beats, which is the technical aspect, before you've got the organic life, like finding the character. Got it? So you're reading the script, and you're reading it one time to yourself. I'm not kidding. It's 2 minutes. Confidential, do not share and post online. Well, I already screwed that up, didn't I? But we're way past May 24th. I'm safe. I told you I give you real scripts, and what I'm going to do. Don't film that. Direction. Specs, write this down on the other side of cold reading, because I talked about it but not as specifically, because now we're really getting to it. Specs equals SPEC equals specifications, equals adjectives, equals mood, equals point of view, equals the cell, SELL. I have not said one thing about audience. The audience, who said they think of who the audience is? Here's what the interesting thing was about it. You can trip yourself up. When you work in advertising, you are booking an account, Barbie, Maybelline, for a certain audience. That's their world. As a voiceover actor, I'm not changing or fixing my voice for my audience. You physically tell one person as if you're speaking to them, unless it says I'm a judge sitting here and these are all my jurors and I'm appealing to them. So the minute you tell everyone, you tell no one. And if I choose, and it's Mattel or AT&T, and I don't know what my audience is. It's anybody that likes phones. Okay? The other one is for a bachelorette party, but that doesn't mean I should put in my head that I'm just telling it to a bunch of 22-year-olds or 30-year-olds. Okay? Don't make the decision based on what the script says. Does that make sense? So specs equals specifications, everything that I just said right there, including in direction, they all mean the same thing. They all mean my cell. Okay? This is the cell. So they're looking for blah, 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 blah. We'll get to that in a minute. So take 2 takes, blah, blah, blah. So step number 1 is just read the script, period. After the network you can rely on, we're done. That's recording instructions. Leave that. That's just to show you how to lay it down, do whatever. We've already done step 1. We now move on to step 2. That's it. One time, read the script, period. And that includes the direction, the specs, the timing, the name of the spot, everything, okay? That's it. Step number 2, apply the specs, APPLY. So put 2 underneath 1. Don't mess yourselves up. If you guys are doing, are you writing it down? Oh, you're trying. 1, put down, read the script. Yeah, actually write this stuff. Yeah, that's why I give you guys Cliff Notes. Okay, good. And that's why I then explain to you what it is. Has everybody done that? Number 2, apply the specs. I know our brains do a lot of things at one time, so it makes it difficult. Try to do this part as easy as you can for yourself so that your brain remembers it, so you're not giving yourself a lot of other things. Apply the specs mean take everything from the direction that they're looking for. So on AT&T, they're looking for a no-nonsense, no BS, matter-of-fact approach. Something important to say as the leader of the room. When you speak, people want to listen. You have strength and conviction in your words, but you're not trying to convince or sell an idea, just speaking the truth. Terrific. Then they're saying confident, matter-of-fact, conviction. So it's looking at those entire 2 chunks. If you've got the creative specs, female, 40s to 50, we're going to actually, if you're a male and you want to read this, we're going to move it to bachelor party. Okay, so it doesn't matter. So you choose either one, female or male, 40 to 50. Don't worry about the age. Do not ever take a script and try to make yourself, now if it's animation, it's different. If it's a grandma and it's really an old lady and you gotta get, that's a different story. Voiceover wise, some of us sound older, some of us sound younger, okay? For the sake of these and in real life, don't worry about it. They've changed so much to fit everybody. They say 40 to 50, they could hire a 22-year-old. They could hire a 60-year-old. So don't worry about it. Age does not come into play on things, just in anything, unless it's animation or a video game and it's specific, so you've got to do something with your voice. So guys, if you're reading for this one, it's everything. Now look, oh, they're getting all ethnicities, non-binary, trans, gender fluid, talent submit, blah, blah, blah. Looking for an actor with strong voice, wise, playful, blah, blah. Okay, now guys, what we're gonna do is when you're applying the specs, I know you've written that down, we're actually going to apply the specs now. So based on whichever script you'd like to do, if we have enough time, which we probably won't, for you to do both, I'd pick one that you'd want to do, okay? And what I'd like you to do is circle every adjective in the direction and the specs they're looking for. So I'm going to walk you through that the first time for AT&T, all right? So circle no nonsense. You're circling everything individually. Everybody there in the specs, the direction. Circle no nonsense, circle no BS. Circle matter of fact. Circle leader in the room. Anybody want to give me what the next one might be? Yep. Yes! What's the next one?
Conviction.
Yep, circle it. You see one more in there? Yes, perfect. Now, is there anything, let me give you another caveat. Don't write down anything that is not. Now, I realize I did say no BS, but that's going to help you so that you don't, in the case of if you are picking a you know what I mean, a character, that you can't get too swarmy with him and trying to bullshit me. You know, you get what I'm saying? So some things we just take a mental approach on, okay? We haven't found the voice yet, guys, and we're going to make it very easy. You're going to do this read differently than his approach will be, differently than him. Every one of you might pick no nonsense, easygoing, guy next door. But we're going to hear 3 different qualities of reads. Does that make sense? Okay, now that we've circled, underneath that where it says 2 takes. Now what this means is they're going to want a second alternate read that they're already giving you those. Okay, so let's go ahead and circle our alternate read. So go down to the take 2 because, well, you know what I would do? No more, matter of fact is already in. Okay, here's where I'm going to show you parallel adjectives. Where it says take 1, because this is all going the same one. Circle confident. Confident can, do you see any parallel word within the direction that confident fits, or is it its own world?
Conviction.
Yeah, right. Conviction may be a little stronger, but definitely add that in. So if you were doing this on your own, I would for sure add it, but not pushing. We just know. We've already done no BS, right? So we know. It's just something to know. Conviction in your words, we've already done conviction. So now for our alternate read, does anyone want to tell me what adjectives they'd be circling?
Energy.
Huh?
Energy.
Energy's a tough one. Energy's, I would circle inspirational instead because your energy is inspirational. Energy is one of those technical, and I'm afraid it would make you pushy. Not pushy mood-wise, it's not a mood. Does that make sense? So how about inspirational, motivational? Now, let's take slightly more energy and try to put that in one word that's a mood. What can you come up with? By the way, in life, this doesn't take that long. This is the first time I'm showing you guys how to do it so that you understand it. In real life, once you're doing it, it takes 5 minutes to do and you're moving on. It becomes a thing.
Energetic.
Okay, but energetic is also very general as well. Is there another word that we could use that energy fits in with mood? Here's another term in voiceovers, mom on the go or dad on the go. It's a person that generally is like in a brisk walk at a park, sharing the information that way. So we'd call that dad on the go or guy on the go or busy. Give me another word that would mean someone that is not going to push you away, not in a hurry, but has things to do. Has the energy, because I like the energy portion, but is there a word we can use there instead?
Persuasive.
Huh?
Persuasive.
Persuasive is going to be pushy. By energy, they mean life. I like energetic better than energy. Let's just go with energetic. Let's see where it brings us. Okay? So do you see where at least we got a little more specific on energetic versus energy, right? But energetic still, it's because what it's going to make you do is push yourself technically. Oh God, I better be energetic, but am I being hyper or am I being just with energy? Awake, full of life force, lively. But you look, guys, understand this. You can give yourself whatever adjectives you want. You're there to match the mood they're looking for because they're not here in front of us. I'm just helping you fix the puzzle. I'm just helping you define the puzzle close enough to what the cell that they're looking for is. If we could be flies on the wall, which is why I was going to show you that commercial, you're going to get to see what ends up going to air. And you also can say, this sucks, that script sucks, I hate the writing, I hate this. No offense, nobody cares. They don't care if I hate it, they don't care if you hate it, they want you to nail the read. So I'm just giving you guys every parameter to pick out the adjective. Do you understand why louder doesn't work? Because louder is gonna make you be louder, and it's good. Does that make sense? Let's stick with energetic for now, or lively. Let's see where that gets us, okay? But we're probably not gonna do, unless I have one person do an alternate. Okay, now, step number 1 is read the script. Step number 2 is apply the specs. Now here comes the tricky part. Within what you circled, because that's a lot of adjectives, let's not go to the number 2. Or if you're gonna choose, take number 2, it's fine with me. I don't really care. Here's what you gotta do. Out of all these circled, I want each one of you to tell me what your read is going to be. Now, if you pick the other script, it's fine. We're gonna do it off the other script too. But you're gonna choose 2 to 3 adjectives total. So my read on this is gonna be, no nonsense, authentic, and tutorial. I just made a choice. Okay, authentic I know is not on there, but it matches matter of fact, no BS, blah, blah, blah. You have to realize every adjective means something. Matter of fact is different than no BS. Those kind of mean the same thing. Patronizing goes even further than matter of fact. Dry. Sophisticated is different than flirtatious. Authentic is the same as real. Gal next door is a little friendlier than excited. Do you get where I'm going? Our vocal qualities do fit in certain areas, but if you want to be what's called a staple voiceover client where you get to read for a lot of things, your job is to do this read. So does somebody want to just tell me, did they pick 2 or 3 adjectives? Did you choose 2 to 3? Tell me what you chose. And here's what I want you to do, guys. When you've chosen it, we're on the cold reading still, but when you've chosen it based on either script, and I can do the other script with you if you want, I want you to, all you're gonna do is go authentic, comma, real, comma, sophisticated, circle it. So that you know what you're doing with the read. Do it to the right of the page, because this is what you're using to record something, okay? So tell me what you came up with for your 2 or 3, because this is the lane you're driving on. Fine, fine. My next question would be, strong's a little general. I would pick conviction.
What about leader in the room?
I love that. But define that in your head for you so that it's specific, because you're not going to put the voice on there. You're gonna, it's out of what's you. What's your name?
Bobby.
Bobby. It's Bobby being leader of the room. Does that make sense? It's all of you guys being these people. That's where the vocal quality is coming from. It's my version of witty, off the cuff, easygoing, my version of it. Got it? So that's where you're attaching to these. When I said the word parallel adjectives, like I just said authentic, it may not actually say authentic, but maybe I resonate closer, maybe I resonate better with authentic more so than matter of fact. Or maybe matter of fact fits better. Does that make sense? Maybe I don't know how do I act sophisticated? But I do know how to be educational or tutorial or empathetic, or so find the placement in that to find your adjective. Does that make sense? Does anybody else want to tell me, did they pick one? Yes. What, tell me your, did you write the adjectives and circle them to the right?
I didn't circle them.
Okay, circle them, because here's the difference. What I'm going to teach you guys to do is that's your read. Then when you're recording and listening back and giving yourself direction and changing it, you're going to base that objectively on, I need to warm it up a little. I need to pull it back a little. I need more strength. I need more authenticity. You're basing it on the direction they've given you. So you might be switching up your read. You're not necessarily basing it on your vocal quality, but once you've listened, you might say, oh, I wasn't enough of this, or I was too much of that, or I didn't nail the read. I didn't hit the cell. So then you're going to write down, my next one I'm going to do is I want to warm it up a little bit. And now let's see what that, so then you're going to write that direction down, okay? So that gives you self-directing. Tell me what you've written down.
I wrote, this was for the AT&T, the take one. I did rigid, motivated leader.
I like that, but now rigid is going to be a negative. How are you going to play rigid? What does rigid mean to, where did you pick up rigid from?
When I think of rigid, I think of, very like straight, maybe more like straight-laced than rigid, but like he's no nonsense, no BS. They really wanted to emphasize that he's not going to say anything even remotely funny. So I said rigid.
Okay, well listen, that's fine. You can pick what you'd like if you have the reason for it being there. Does that make sense? Because what, at the end of the day, it only matters. Listen, this is not something in which you can write something down, but then secretly say, but I'm also going to smile. Or I'm also going to, because I'm selling something. No, dude, my sell is matter of fact, no nonsense. Your house is so hot, not even your best friend will stay. I don't think so, Baldy. That's my read. That's for Milk that won a Obie or whatever, the biggest award, the whatever award. I can't worry that I need to do it with a smile and with a sell, that's my sell. That is my sell. Your rigid blah, 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 blah is your sell, okay? So that's perfect. Did anybody pick the creative one that needed help with any of the circling of the adjectives? Does someone want to tell me real quick with the circling? Is anybody going to, I don't know that we'll get through everybody, but I'm going to try. Did anybody pick bachelorette or bachelor? No? Everybody picked AT&T? Really? Isn't that funny? Wow. Okay, good. We're going to work on AT&T. Step number 3. Okay, so just to recap, read the script, step number 1. Step number 2, apply the specs. You guys had a job in there, which was to circle 2 to 3 adjectives and then write next to it. One adjective is not enough. Let me tell you why. It's boring. Okay, that's why I said happy, sad, boring. No nonsense, your read's going to be boring. It's one note all the way through. This is why we layer reads. It's like a vanilla cake. If all of you got the same thing to make a vanilla cake, each one of you were using a different brand of, maybe one of you's putting honey in there. Maybe another one's putting sprinkles. Maybe another one's giving, you know what I mean? They all look the same, but they taste different and they've got different ingredients. These are the ingredients. Does this make sense? Okay, cool. So that's how we play. Number 3, half out loud, comma, half to yourself. Write down half out loud, comma, half to myself. Here's what it doesn't mean. The next level moment needs the next level network. That doesn't mean half out loud, half to yourself like that. If you ever read to yourself out loud a magazine, or when you're waiting in a doctor's office and you're looking at something and you go, a no nonsense, no BS, matter of fact approach. You have something important. Do we do that as humans? The next level moment needs the next level network. Next level moments need the next level network. The network you can rely on. I want to just tell you, by the way, just to let you know, when we're reading, we're not reading both line 1 and line 2. You're either reading line 1 or line 2 and then the end. There's 2 lines here. I understand these look more like what we call tags, meaning it's just the get your burger's worth, it's just their tag. These could be uplifted. This could be worth 500 grand right here, this spot. You have no idea. They can lift this and put it on and you would never know. And you go in for one session and you read. Don't ever be the kind of voice actor that goes, it's only one line, it's stupid. That ad agency, once they think you're right, you make residuals. My buddy used to say the radio stuff that ran in Ohio or Tennessee or Kansas City or this, you make residuals. Every 13 weeks you're making money on it. This is for union. But even in non-union, you can do what's called a buyout and you'll still make some money on that, okay? There is money to be made in this business. I'll get through the union stuff in a minute because that's changed quite a bit. But a half out loud, half to yourself is a next level moment needs a next level network. The network you can rely on. Volume-wise, that's that, okay? When I refer to the step number 3, this is where the real work is done. This is the first time we're actually playing and finding our voice. We're not finding it by going, a next level moment, a next level moment, a next, a next. That's from the outside in. That doesn't work. What we're doing is I'm going no nonsense, and I'm going to what I circled. No nonsense, no BS, sophisticated, or tutorial. No nonsense. I think about it in life, and you can start to play, but we're not recording anything yet. We're not doing anything. We're finding the voice, basically. In life, if somebody says to you, "Hey, you remember when we did that 2 weeks ago?" Psychologically, you look up and you look to your left because you're trying to remember what you did, and it's bringing that moment back up. Okay, I'm not trying to teach us method. Difficult voice acting. I'm just giving you a lot of tricks of the trade. If somebody says to you, "Hey, you want to get sushi later tonight?" You look to the right and think, "Am I in the mood for sushi?" We don't generally look to the left because the left is the past, the right is the front. So when somebody's talking to you in life and you're trying to think of the answer, if it was something in the past, you're like, "Oh, I do remember that." That's the left side of our brain. The right side is in the future and what we dream and what we want to create and what we think. It's kind of an interesting trick. So when I'm thinking, now I've done a lot of these, but I still think you could follow the same thing. I'm thinking, I'm not going back to a commercial I've done that is similar to this, which I can go back and go, very much what I did on Chevrolet in blah, blah, and I remember the character and I can go back. Fine. But I'm still making a fresh choice. It's a brand new script. It's a new thing. Once you start creating vocal qualities and moods and understanding cells, you just put them in your toolkit in your pocket and go, you know what? This is very close to what I did for Chevy Truck. This is what I did on Budweiser. I know exactly where I'm going with this guy or this girl. Does that make sense? It cuts out a lot of time to be able to do this. But I'm not doing, here's what no nonsense sounds like this. The next level moment needs a next level, blah, blah. Needs a next level network. The network you can rely on. Well, that's boring. That's just no nonsense alone. That's alone. So now let me marry up no nonsense. Matter of fact, I didn't even circle it. Like I just write it and I told you. But no nonsense. I'm going to go no nonsense sophisticated because I'm going to get what I want out of that with the 2 adjectives. A next level moment needs a next level network. The network you can rely on. That's it. That's my read. Now that's my read half out loud, half to myself. I am not suggesting you get there that quickly, and you might. But what I'm asking you to do is marry up your adjectives and play. Yeah, give me 1 second. And play and find your read in the half out loud, half. So if you're picking the second line, I'm thinking for a minute, and then now you can screw it up. This is your time to screw it up. We all sit in a room with voiceover actors, everybody's screwing, because you're finding the read. We can't expect anybody to be brilliant and get right on a microphone and nail it and have it. You just can't. It's like even on camera. I've got to read my sides, then I got to memorize my sides, and then I got to get into character, and then we know there's a camera, and we know we're self-directing, and there's a lot of components that go on. The most important thing is to nail your read and understand what you're going to do with your read, and this is how you get there, okay? So if I know that don't change your adjectives. Don't change anything you're doing. You've committed to your 2 to 3 adjectives, and that's what you're sticking with. I'm not changing anything. I'm not recording and saying, I don't like that, I want to do, I haven't even found it yet. So if it's the second line, next level moments need the next level network. The network you can rely on. I haven't even found my person I'm talking to yet because I haven't given you that instruction yet. But let's say that's my I'm just showing you the volume and the work that goes in, okay? And then we'll go to step 4. So you play around with that a couple of times. You don't repeat the words, you just find it at that volume level, okay? Yes, did you have a question on that?
You just want to understand that it's about the how you can mold your voice as well.
How you can watch what part?
How you can mold your voice as well.
Mold your voice? Mold. Yeah, 100%. Great way to look at it. Here's an easier way to look at it.
But
yeah.
My voice is very much.
You have an accent.
Yeah, my set of voice is very much on a high pitch. So for me, it will be a little bit difficult to mold. Okay.
I hate to tell you, you have a very big raspy quality to your voice. So the fact that you think it's high pitched is not what I hear at all. You have an interesting dynamic. I understand what you're talking about, the part up here, but you have a calming rasp. The biggest thing you have is fitting into the American and the cadence and the pacing and the beats, because but you can do dubbing. You can read for anything that is going to fit in with fitting your thing, but you can still hit the mood and you can still practice that way. Get that out of your head that you have a high pitch. You do not have a high pitch. Now maybe I haven't heard you scream, so if somebody wants to pinch him so we can hear him scream, you do not have a high pitch. I'm hearing, aren't you hearing his level of rasp in there? The thing you are going to contend with is the heavy accent. But it's not going to be much different than a New Yorker reading for something when they're really big in New Yorker. You know, when they got that in there and they can't, they're not looking for that. Does that make sense? So that's where that fits in. But yes, you are molding your voice. Let's take it one step further. You're just being you in that mood. That's what you're doing. In life, we tell stories all the time. You can tell them humorously, with wit, and a bit. But my vocal quality changes depending on the mood I'm in. When I'm empathetic and kind and loving, I sound more like this. When I'm no nonsense and you don't want to mess with me, I'm a little bit more like this. When I'm excited and telling a story and I really want to bring you, oh my God, you're not, then I'm that chick. So it is acting in that sense, but I'm just, if I have to be excited and do that, that's where I'm going realistically. And then you manipulate the microphone and do that. But that is a better way to say it. But for sure, you're molding your voice, but I'm creating it. If you're already in that mood, it's going to be much easier to get there. I will say that. There is truth to that, if you're already in that mood. Now, where the beats come in, the minute you read the script, the beats are already built in. They're called those 3 dots between the lines. You see them? Those are beats. The line between the first, the second, and third, those are beats. You see why you don't do beats first? Bless you. You see where the beats should come in later? When you're reading, I've already picked my mood. I want you to understand you're breathing within the mood. If you're in a hurry and you're talking fast, you're not going to breathe that much because you got to tell the story now. I got to go. I got to leave in like 5 minutes. I'm in a hurry. You buy the fact she's in a hurry, a chick in a hurry, and she's got to go. If I'm warm, sophisticated, I'm going to breathe naturally, and I'm going to be warm and sophisticated within those moments. If you do not breathe while you're telling a story and you continue on and on and on in any genre of anything that you do, like I'm doing right now, my voice is now changing, and I just took a breath because I had to take a breath, but now I want to continue telling the story. I win nothing. The beats are the natural elements that you find within your read. Does that make sense? My beat, I stuck with what? No nonsense, sophisticated. Now I haven't picked my person yet, so let's get to step 4 so then I can show you how to do that. And then I'll go back and show you with the beats. Step 4, under step 3, after half out loud, half to yourself, I get a little anal on that part because we spend most of our time in there. That's where the real work is done. Step number 4 is the read. what you're going to do out loud. Meaning, when I'm done, and I'm going to get more specific you in a minute, a next level moment needs the next level network. The network you can rely on. Read. Let's just say I stick with that. That's what's going on in the recorder. That's the fourth step. The difference, but you're hearing the volume difference between the two. The first one's to myself out loud. The second one is to, we're not telling the microphone, we're telling a human being. So I want you to take like a thing like that, like just an arrow pointing out between 3 and 4. And I want you to say, pick a place, pick a person. Yeah.
In the direction it says you have something important to say as the leader in the room. Are we thinking that we're talking to a room of people?
Yeah, that's a very good point. Hold on to that, because we will get to that. Yes, when you are, yeah, for this actually that does, but let me do cold reading first and then you can apply it to that, okay? So on the fourth step, when the arrow I did right there, guys, don't pick Uncle Donald that doesn't exist on earth, okay? Don't pick your neighbor. Everybody has a best friend. Everybody has a family member, a dog, a kid, a sister or a brother, a soccer coach. Pick people that are in your world because you want to make the read realistic, okay? So do not, as what we did before was pick an audience. This is your audience. Don't base it on whether they like BMW 5 Series or not. We really don't care. Don't base it on if they like chocolate chip ice cream or not, okay? In almost every circumstance, you can tell your best friend. That creates your volume. I mean, that creates your placement. Now, in voiceovers, we are generally 2 inches from a microphone. I didn't bring my microphone, but it's irrelevant. I have found it, so it's not, because once you nail this, you can nail getting on a mic and doing it. The microphone is generally 2 inches from our mouths, okay? And most people are gonna be doing them on their laptop, on GarageBand, or any of the tools, any GarageBand, any of the tools. And you can, I'm gonna give you all my email, so everyone can email me and I can tell you how to get on this stuff and whatever. We'll talk about all that after. Anyway, bottom line is you're 2 inches physically from a microphone, but you're not telling the microphone. Because if you tell the microphone, it's going to be way too intimate. And if your read is intimate, still pick either someone you're dating or whoever it would be that would be laying next to you, so the read comes across more intimate, okay? But that is being defined in step number 3 and 4. You're finding that there. Then I'm recreating the read on the microphone. A lot of times, if the read is in person, there's a casting director there, so that person will be there in the room, so you can do it to them. But let me tell you something. There could be a script that says, and I'll bring up leader in the room in a minute, there could be a script that says, the kid, go buddy, go, yeah, you got it, you can get to third. Like a mom, soccer mom on the field to her son. Look, I'm still playing the energy of that. I have to make that real. I'm not throwing my voice. You just back up from the mic a little and you go off it a little, or there's what's called a filter for the microphone, okay? We're not really getting into popping of the peas or anything like that. You're not pulling out breaths. You're cleaning stuff up if it's messy, but this should create a pretty clean read that then goes onto the microphone, and then you do your direction and your changes from there. Now, in this particular instance, so that's the thing you're adding from between 3 and 4. So the half out loud, half to yourself read, by the time you get to out loud, I've added in my best friend Rhonda. But would I tell my best friend Rhonda this? I don't know. Yeah, I guess it's fine. Maybe I'll tell my mom this. It doesn't really matter who I'm telling it to, as long I'm being selfish. It's my no-nonsense, sophisticated to whoever that, does that make sense? And the place is, this is the part I left out. And I don't want to confuse you. There are a few words in the voiceover world that both mean technical and creative. One of them is conversational. Conversational is a volume. In life, although I'm speaking now I'm being a little more intimate, and before I was being a little loud. But this would be too quiet for conversational. This is more of a conversational level. Not throwing my voice anyway. we're generally 6 feet away from someone when we're talking, or 4 feet. Now it's gotten, during the pandemic, 4. That's the normal way in which we speak. I'm not telling you a mood, I'm telling you the volume level, okay? Even if you've been told before you speak too quietly or speak too loud, you're gonna have to understand what normal volume is, because when you're on that microphone, you have to remember, you're just telling your best friend Steve, who's right here, and we're at a diner, we're at my kitchen table, we're on a couch. Make it easy. You know what I mean? And then it gives you a story, and then I know I'm telling Rhonda, sitting at a diner in a no-nonsense, sophisticated way, the next level moment needs the next level network. I'm not thinking about how I sound. I'm nailing the read with my vocal quality and the mood. Does that make sense? That's where I'm molding my voice. Okay? So that's what that creates. Now, let's go back to her one question really quick. Does that mean that we can cut out who I'm speaking to in this particular instance? Because it's very rare in scripts that they're going to tell you that particular thing. Could one of your choices be telling it as a leader in the room? Yeah, if you make that decision and that's in the specs, but you know, if you've already given that as your adjective, then the point I'm making is in step number 3 and step number 4, when you get to the placement and the person, decide that, see, don't make it hypothetical. Don't go, I'm a leader and these are all people. Then I'm talking about blah, blah to 5 people. Make it specific. Does that make sense? As if I'm just a leader, then it becomes a read for everyone to know, for nothing, right? Okay, so what we're gonna do, that's the cold reading. Can you tell me the time? Does anybody have the time?
47.
Huh?
47. 6:47.
Oh, 6:47. Oh my God, we're almost done. See, this is what happens. Then we're gonna do something instead. I wanna pull this up here and show you guys, okay? So I want to do what's called, if we get to that, we do. I want to show you what's called the reverse audition. And I think it's super cool that you can see, because now you've seen this script. Is that okay if I just hit play?
Yes, let me put it up.
Now here's what I want you guys to listen for. That's the commercial. I don't know how to make it full screen. Oh, that? Okay, guys, here's what I want you to do. Just take a moment as you're listening, maybe I'll play it twice, and I want you to write down, now we know it's a man because I already started playing it, the specs of what they're looking for. What are you basing the specs on? His voice. So I want you to write down as many adjectives as what they're looking for, because that was, if we had more time when I do seminars and longer things, we actually go right out the entire commercial and we play fly on the wall and we go backwards, because this is who they cast to go to air. So we play it backwards, but it's very interesting for you guys to be able to, you're gonna tell me what you think the sell is. So you're gonna write down as many adjectives, okay? Now, let me just clarify something. After you've laid down your read, in your own world and in your own time, you're gonna be giving yourself notes and changes, but objectively. You're not gonna say that read sucked or this was this. And you always have to stick to the specs. Those specs are defining the sell of what they're looking for. You're not gonna change the words. You're not gonna improvise. If it's radio, sometimes you can. But your job is to nail it as it's written first and be that person. They're gonna then book you on the job, whether it's union or non-union. They're gonna still give you direction and notes based on this. They might say to you, I love what you did on take number 5, but now I want you to warm it up a little bit. I love what you did on this. The closer you are to mood is the closer you are to time. So when you're building your read, don't try to do it to time, but if you are interested after, once you've given yourself a mood note, and by the way, you may have nailed it, you may go, you know what, that's great, I'm sending it in. Terrific. But look, what I want to say is, if you want to give yourself a note based on that, go see what the timing was on it. You know what I'm saying? These are 15 seconds. With the beats, 15 seconds. So that should tell you. If it comes in at 12, you know you've got 3 seconds to play with. If it runs 18, you know you got to pull it, tighten it up a little bit. Okay, let's just play this. It's not very long. It's a 15-second spot. It's a cute spot, but I just want you to pick the specs for the...
Everything's fine. Of all the things that happen on your wooden surfaces, disinfecting has to be one of them. Clorox disinfecting wipes.
Cool. Okay, you want to play it again? Oh, well, we are playing it again.
Everything's fine. Of all the things that happen on your wooden surfaces, disinfecting has to be one of them. Clorox disinfecting wipes.
Oh, I think I didn't do that either. Anyway, that's kind of funny. Okay, so they're either going to give you a celebrity or adjective. So can I want you to just tell me, what's the feel? What would you say one of the adjectives would be on this? Yeah.
Expectant.
What?
Expectant.
Expecting?
Expectant.
I don't know what that means.
When you're like expecting something.
No, I'm talking about what are the adjectives of the voiceover that he did?
Yeah. That's my adjective. I don't know. It could be something.
Inviting? Do you mean inviting?
No, like.
Oh, there's a live.
We really have to try to pick adjectives. You know what I mean? That fit how we can behave to bring a quality of a voice. So tell me what the word was again.
Expectant.
But I don't know what that means.
Like imagine I'm like sitting with like my cat and like I'm an evil villain and I was like, I've been expecting you, like.
But where
you're
do you get that
expecting
on
something.
the vocal quality of that guy?
He sounds a little bit not exacerbated, but like he knew that this was going to happen, that the spill was going to happen, and it's like, well, what can you do?
Okay, but that's not expectant.
Okay.
That's nonchalant. That's no nonsense. That's casual. That's off the cuff.
Got it.
That's matter of fact. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're going with his vocal quality that then they would put in. But good, yes. So just to show you, anybody else have one? Yeah.
Straightforward.
Terrific. Straightforward. We got from that.
It was understanding. Like he understands you.
Understanding. So there's some empathy there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did too. I did cool and gravelly. He had like a low growl to his voice, kind
Now
of.
that's a vocal quality. But yes, that's fine. We didn't discuss vocal quality. You naturally have a vocal quality if in the specs it says add some gravel to your voice, because my entire career was built on the rasp I have, but there are plenty of worlds in which I lost an entire campaign because they wanted me without the rasp, and my agent would not let me go back in and read for it, and I snuck back in and read for it and got the campaign back for 5 years. I'm like, on what planet do you think I cannot do this read without a rasp? It's just a mood change. So yes, but that is a vocal quality that can benefit us and both hinder us. But that's lovely that you say that. Does anybody else have any? And usually they give more than one or a celebrity, and I'm going to tell you who the celebrity was in a minute. Anybody else have any that they want to say? So you get what happened. You'd be getting the script that would tell you a woman walks in the door with a baby, a guy, then you say guy VO, and it probably has the specs of understated, no nonsense, guy next door, a little inviting. It's Jason Sudeikis. You want to listen again? You know who he is?
Wait, it's actually him or he's trying to sound like...
No, this is Jason Sudeikis. So either they use a lot of celebrities do voiceovers. I mean, they're all, so, but just to show you, now, they don't all have celebrities. The script may have said, but that would be a sound-alike. Got it? So listen, in no world are you meant to copy to give yourself that quirk. I just know that's Jason Sudeikis. I didn't realize it till I heard it. But what I'm saying is, he's still not being Jason Sudeikis. That is Jason Sudeikis, and he's being him in an off-the-cuff. There's a quirky aspect. Listen, adjectives can say quirky, you know?
Everything's fine. Of all the things that happen on your wooden surfaces, disinfecting has to be one of them. Clorox disinfecting wipes.
You hear it? Or we'll play it again. You hear it? Do you guys hear it? It doesn't matter that you know. Nobody really cares. I mean, he may have still made scale, and it doesn't matter. The point is it was based on a mood. And you see it, it's very thrown away. The read is very thrown away, but that's a cell. That is an actual cell. I want to take 2 minutes, and I want to get just a couple of people to read this and to do it. Remember, you're only reading the first or the second line, and we can do the mic. We can give you the mic. So guys, it's either the first line or the second line, and then the third line is your tag that goes with it, okay? Here's another thing I'm going to say. Should I take that out? Well, I know, I'll take it out after. Really quickly, when you're practicing your 4 steps called weeding, you can sit down. Hi. Oh, we're just getting done.
Huh?
We're just getting done.
Oh, like you?
Huh? Yeah, we were just going an hour and a half, right?
Yep.
Yeah. It's
Oh, like it's starting or it's done?
no, it's done. It's done at 7.
Oh, I thought it started at 7. Okay.
No. Oh, well, you could stay for the last few minutes, but oh, sorry. I'll still give you a script. Okay. I lost my train of thought. When you're practicing, the first and second step can be done sitting down. I don't want you guys to get used to, because you will be sending in auditions, and if you do create this as a career or even a hobby, you're going to have to understand the technical aspect of it. You're going to be doing it on your laptop most likely. I still do all the time. You can do the steps that I gave you sitting down. At the point that you start to read the half out loud, half to yourself, stand up. Your diaphragm gets cut off. The vocal quality will change sitting down than it does standing up. It doesn't mean throw your voice. It means standing here, putting this on something where I physically am not using my hands. We all talk with our hands, going right back into no nonsense or no nonsense sophisticated. Well, now I'm looking down, but if I, a next level moment needs the next level care. The network, I screwed up the words, but that's the point I'm making. I'm standing up and I'm doing it. Then, if you have to sit down to send the audition in, I understand not everybody can stand up. If you have to stay, if you have a microphone that is only here, it's fine, you've already found your person. Don't adjust. Just do the same read sitting down that you practice standing up. Does that make sense? Okay? For the sake of this, just the 1 or 2 people that I get, or 2 or 3, we will stand up just to show you the read. The only other note I wanted to give you was, then you're listening back, and then you're making your adjustments, writing it down, and redoing it. Do not drive yourself crazy. If you don't like the way you sound, it kind of doesn't matter. You've got to stay out of your own way. You've got to learn to objectively direct yourself to where you know what you're doing to create the specs they're looking for so that you can start to work in this business, okay? And I'll get way more specific with a lot of things later, but why don't, does anybody, let me get somebody, okay, I'll let you go ahead and go. So if you stand up, we'll ask you your adjectives later. Okay, I wish we had something where we could put the script so you had hands free, but I want it to be at eye level, so it kind of sucks. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, take a minute. Now listen, you should already have your read created. Now I know you haven't done it out loud, got it? But why don't you practice for a minute in the 3rd step? Go ahead, you don't have to do it on the mic, just practice and then take a minute. Terrific. Remember to breathe between the first line and the 3rd line, because you will lose that. Now, it becomes easy when you remember, I know you're just doing it, when you remember who you're speaking to tell this to, okay? So go ahead, and I didn't get a chance to have you practice a lot, but go ahead. If you feel you're ready, remember your mood. It's 3, it's not just one mood. And it's not being arrogant in one place, happy in another, and this. It's the marriage of all those are the vocal quality of Jason Sudeikis, are the vocal quality of you. Does that make sense?
All right. I'll give it a try.
You got it.
A next level moment needs the next level network. The network you can rely on.
Cool. Now tell me the specs for that guy. No, it wasn't bad. Tell me the specs.
It wasn't what it sounded like in my head.
That's okay. That's what, tell me. I know you wrote your specs down.
Yeah, I had no nonsense, leader in the room, speaking the truth.
No nonsense and speaking in the truth. Where are those different?
I believe in what I'm saying. It's just a matter.
Okay, got it. Authentic. Okay.
Yeah.
So now here's what I want you to do. I want you to give yourself a little more gravitas. I want you not in vocal. Are you leaving? Okay. Bye, guys. Thank you. Add an oomph of power. Give yourself a little more confidence.
Okay.
Okay. Don't undo your hands because I want you to be hands-free. I know you're holding the microphone.
I'm trying not to do like a weird character voice.
Who did you pick? Well, I would like you to hear what that sounds if you do, but I'd like you to do this first. Who did you pick to tell this to? I'm
a creative director in this like project at TXI.
No, that's
so
hypothetical.
I'm
talking in real life.
No, it is real life. In this class I'm taking, I was imagining, because I have to lead this project, so I'm telling them about this network.
Oh, I see, because you're being the leader. I want you to make it more personal.
Okay.
Because that did not sound like you were telling 30 people in a class, but don't choose that. Just tell one, who would you tell this to in a confident, in the manner in which you're telling?
My friend who's just really needs to know about
What's your friend's name?
Sam.
I want you to tell Sam.
Yeah.
In real life, at 2 feet away, it's a little further than where she's standing from you. Okay, but I want you to, off your mood. Take a minute, think of the mood. We are jumping, but you get what I'm saying. And whenever you're ready, you take a moment, you take a breath. We do not come in on a full breath and then go. It is the mood of no nonsense, authentic, powerful, a next level network. You get what I'm saying? It's just picking the mood and going.
A next level moment needs the next level network. The network you can rely on.
Now that sounded good. That sounds pretty good. As long as you match the mood, do you get what I'm saying? Now, I would love you to what I call pull back the smile on that. I want that same read. Pull back the smile just a little bit whenever you're ready.
A next level moment needs the next level network. The network you can rely on.
Terrific. That's taking direction. You don't necessarily have to know exactly what you're doing, but you'll start to learn all the beats of things. I want to hear your version of where you want to go with something. No right or wrong. I just want to hear it so I can point you in the right direction when it can fit and when it doesn't.
A next level moment needs the next level network. The network you can rely on.
But he sounds swarthy.
I know. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't trust that person.
So, but that's okay. Listen,
Yeah,
a kid, Craig Boyd, I grew up with this guy. He's so talented. But I said, Craig, he goes, but that's boring if I just have to be, and he loves characters. But look, if the character and the mood fits that guy, but your voice is enough with the other. You get what I'm saying? That's the mood. Okay, I know you raised your hand too, so I'm going to let you go, okay? And then we probably have to be done. Everybody got a script. I'll give her one script. I'll give you guys my email. Okay, terrific. Oh, and we already got your adjectives, so we're fine. And you're going to tell us, oh, thank you.
Adjectives first.
You're not going to tell us your adjectives first. You're going to tell us your adjectives after. Hi, I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Well, now you got them again in the third one. Okay.
Ready? Next level moments need a next level network. The network you can rely on.
Okay, now what is the first note we're probably going to give him? Yes. Do you hear it? Now why? Now here's the thing. That's a pacing thing. Tell us what adjectives you chose.
Powerful, conviction, and authentic.
Okay, now here's the thing. It's very difficult to be powerful without you trying to be powerful like you just tried to do. Do you get what I'm saying?
Okay.
Powerful is confident. Powerful is, so I'm not sure powerful's the right word. Look, there's a lot of times we can pick the wrong adjectives. It's your direction and it's your world. if you were to go with a power, what is that? What do you want to do with it? Tell me the adjectives again.
Powerful, conviction, and authentic.
Well, first of all, it'd be with conviction. Tell me something that closely relates better with your personality, that I get this. We're all not right for every job, by the way. Got it? But we can all be in the mood of that job. So, do you get where I said powerful, where that's a tricky word?
Sure, yeah.
So let's pick, how about if you say strength?
Strength, okay.
A quiet strength, okay? You have a lot of energy, I can tell. So look, trying to put on the power is going to make you charactery. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Are there moments in your life in which you just have this no BS, I know I got what it takes? Do you have that side of you that's like, I know where I'm going, man. I don't care what anybody, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to hear that guy in that. And you take a moment, don't cross your hands. Yeah, I want you to play your hands. No, don't let nerves do that. Use your hands. We speak with our hands, okay? I want you to take a breath before. I want you to see your person first. Did you pick a person?
Yes.
Who'd you pick?
A curious stranger who wants to know more about this.
Huh?
A curious stranger who wants to know more about
No,
this.
it's not personal. Never pick somebody that you don't know.
Okay.
Never. We make it real. Pick your dad, pick your mom, pick your best friend.
I'm gonna pick my brother.
What's his name?
Ezra.
Ezra, terrific. Ezra would be so you tell Ezra. But here's the deal. Ezra is not sitting on your shoulder, is he? Ezra is in a room. So if you normally speak fast, you have to command a different presence about yourself, commanding, strong, so that you can relay the information. So I get that vocal quality. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Wonderful. So I want you to tell Ezra. Ezra's probably standing a little further behind her. But I want you to get out of that mood, and I want you to think confident, powerful, no BS. Okay?
Sure.
When you're ready.
Next level moments need the next level network. Network you can rely on.
Terrific. Now, what has to be very strong is the energy that you carry. It's got to be louder and bigger, okay? Too quiet, but you slow down. You have other thoughts going on in your head. We didn't get a chance to do That's a Great Shirt, which is another exercise that teaches us how to find mood, okay? Because it's sometimes difficult to find mood. Tell me what just a no-nonsense read would be like.
Next level
Pick Ezra.
Pick Ezra. Next level moments need the next level network. The network you can rely on.
Okay, but too fast. You got to slow it down and take your time with it, right?
Okay.
A next level moment needs the next level network. We're breathing into the mood, which creates the cell. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
The network you can rely on. The network you can rely on. Push the words out. You're kind of eating the words in. Does that make sense?
I think so.
You're mumbling the words in a little bit.
Okay.
So but you haven't found it yet. It's very difficult to jump on a microphone and just push it out there. So it's a matter of finding it and doing all of that. I guess, we're kind of done. I'd really like to do everybody. I'm so bummed. What do we have time for one more?
If
Is
there's
anybody dying
any questions
to do it? Yes, I want to let you do it.
try it. I'm gonna pass it this way.
Oh.
Go that way.
What happened?
Oh, we have time.
Questions? Yeah.
Oh,
To do it?
Someone to read it.
She
Oh, yeah. If you
Yeah.
want to do questions.
Yeah. Okay.
Could I get your email?
Yes, I'm going to give everyone my email. I'll give it to you now real quick. TERAPP, Peter 3 at AOL.com. TERAPP3 at AOL.com. And with can create something. Maybe we'll try to do. I'm happy to help you guys with workouts and learning reads and things like that and doing stuff over Zoom. We'll talk. This is a smaller group, so she'll put it out there. And by the way, I was going to bring books. I have a new run, and they didn't get here yet. If anybody wants one, I will do it and signed and sent to you. They're $20. I've lowered them. Does anybody want one? And go ahead and just let me know. If you don't, it's fine, but if not, I'm offering them now, and then I'm going to go ahead and send them to you. So just think about it for a second. And it teaches you everything about voiceover. It's the #1 book in the business. But okay,
Thank you.
you got it.
A next level moment needs the next level network. Next level moments needs the next level network.
No. You pick one of the lines and then the end.
Okay.
And don't look at me. Don't worry about me.
Got it.
In voiceovers, we're just looking straight at it.
Yeah.
I mean, but you're talking to someone. Go ahead.
Next level moment needs the next level network. The network you can rely on.
Terrific. Now, in your world, I heard a lot of rasp there. Tell me the mood you chose. You wrote it down. Didn't you write down and circle the mood?
Yes.
What did you pick?
It's more about the conviction.
What?
The conviction part.
Conviction.
Connection?
Conviction.
Conviction.
Conviction. Got it. Conviction?
Yes.
You got to pick one or two more.
Oh,
You get what I'm saying? We don't just pick one.
okay.
So in the future, pick 2 or 3, okay? But that wasn't a bad job for just reading it out there like that. Look, in voiceovers, we're nailing the read and we're in a room by ourselves. We're not entertaining anyone else. There's nothing to memorize. You don't have to memorize anything. You just have to know. I mean, look, the other one's been, but everything depends on how you sell it. If I'm upbeat and playful, you've been running the bachelor weekend like this, Navy, but not even the Navy. I mean, everything's a different mood. No nonsense off the cuff. You've been running the bachelor weekend like the Navy. I mean, everything's a sell based on that. All right? Yeah, I know you really wanted to do it, didn't you? Do you want to do it?
I mean, I can.
Okay. Well, we're out of time because listen, we got to be done. But, huh?
She wanted to do it. Yeah.
But the problem is, you missed the entire breakdown of the 4 steps. So let me ask you a couple questions first then.
Okay.
I'll ask you after. That's better. Go ahead. I'll ask you after.
You want to stand up? Okay.
This one?
Whichever one you want to do.
A next level moment needs the next level network. The network you can rely on.
Okay, now let me ask you a question. Have you ever read from a script before?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever read for a voiceover audition?
No.
Okay. How did you pick how did you pick what you did? Based on what? Did you look at the script?
Yeah. I mostly thought about just someone that's confident, but yeah, kind of like basing off of that.
At what point did you bring in the direction and the specs that they're asking you to be? Because, you know, that is how you create the vocal quality. So that was a nice read. You hit the beats. I can say you hit the beats. Was that the right sell for the job? Not really.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you got a good voice, but your job is to nail it. It may be, look, our job is to nail the read. So maybe you were too empathetic and maybe you needed to pull it back and be a little more approachable. Maybe this. Did it make sense?
Yeah.
Email me and I'll give you the 4-step cold reading because everybody's at different levels where we are with stuff, okay? So the only job you really have is to look at a read, nail it, and what they're looking for. It doesn't mean you don't have a good voice, and it doesn't mean that your voice isn't right for something else. We have 2 choices when reading for something. We either say, I'm going to do whatever I want with it, and then you don't book it or whatever. You have to be as close to the sell as what they're talking about, and then you move on from there, because our job really is to try to book every single thing we get. So if somebody gave you an adjustment and said, warm it up, would you know what that means?
Maybe to make it personal, like talking to my sister.
Well, no. Warming it up means adding more warmth to it in color.
Okay.
So there's a lot of world in which and it was a nice read, but there's a lot of world in which to add layers to the read. Does that make sense? I would vocally want to make her a little older. And like I said, age doesn't necessarily matter, but you sound very young when you're reading. So if I need to fit you into this, but it's great, then I would just add other layers and show you how to add colors. But that's perfect. You do pull from your sister and everything else. Thank you, guys. We see the time just flies.
I know.
It's crazy.
Awesome.
Anybody have any questions real quick? Nope.
You want to so what would be the next step in terms of trying to actually, I guess, you need to find someone to work with?
Well, listen, you go, if they can't, you guys can reach out to me.
Yeah.
I'll create a little Zoom workout thing. Listen.